Up until the middle of the Iron Age, Greece was a relative backwater compared to the Fertile Crescent. Classical Greece civilization rose up quickly to give the world democracy, philosophy, plus strides in trade, science, and history. This small country made these contributions in about 200 years. Greece is in the eastern Mediterranean in the southern part of the Balkan Peninsula. It became a seafaring and trade nation, concentrating on the Mediterranean triad of cereals, olives, and grapes. Major early cultures were the Minoans of Crete, starting about 1600 BCE, and later Mycenaeans of Trojan war fame. A volcano destroyed the Minoan culture, and the Bronze Age collapse ended Mycenae. The Greek Dark Ages followed, with Homer the literary high point. Athens was hilly and barren, but fine for olive trees and grapes. Athens became a seafaring trading nation of olive oil and wine. Solon created the foundations for democracy by the 6th century BCE. Pericles created an Athenian empire through the Delian League of Greek city-states and built the Acropolis. Pericles died of the plague in 429 BCE. Sparta defeated Athens, which led to the conquest by Alexander the Great. Classical Greece was dated from around 510 BCE to 323 BCE when Alexander died. Objective history started in the 5th century BCE with Herodotus and Thucydides. This was the period of the great philosophers, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, plus Greek theater, scientists, and engineers. Greeks grew the Mediterranean triad of cereals, olives, and grapes. Common meals included barley bread dipped in wine, could be pancakes using wheat or barley flour, olive oil, honey, and milk. Chickpeas and lentils were often used for soups. Plus, there were many other homegrown veggies. Fruits included grapes, figs, and pomegranates. Given the general infertility of the land, Greek agriculture became sophisticated. Olive trees and grapes grew in inhospitable places. Grapevines could be supported on trellises or against walls. Terraced fields were common on rocky slopes. On flatter land, cereals and legumes were grown, along with almonds and figs. Sparta produced millet, flax, and peas. Even more marginal land could grow herbs. Domesticated animals had many purposes. Sheep and goats were used for wool and milk. Cattle were rare and used as draft animals. Pigs were eaten, especially in Sparta. Dairy products included yogurt, cottage cheese, and multiple cheeses. Chickens and geese were bred mainly for their eggs. Greeks usually ate 3 meals a day, beginning with a light breakfast of barley bread or porridge and wine, perhaps with figs and olives, alternatively, a fried pancake. Lunch remained light, typically with bread and cheese or figs. The biggest meal was dinner, around sundown, with bread, cheese, soups or stews, meats, with wine, butter, and yogurt, then fruit for dessert. The specific foods and quantities would mainly depend on social class. The ancient agora was the Greek market. In Athens, it's just down from the Acropolis. Merchants set up stalls selling local goods. Bakers sold various kinds of breads, cakes, and pastries. Agoras are still popular in Greece, a great place to get a Greek salad. Merchant seamen exported olive oil and wine from Greece and in return brought virtually all available foods from across the Mediterranean. In the Athenian agora, most foods were available, increasing variety even for commoners. The rich not only could eat anything available across the sea, but hire professional cooks and use the best equipment for banquets. Ditto wine. Sobriety was not encouraged. Wine was a major product and a status symbol for elites, based on the quality of wine consumed. Commoners drank cheaper date wine. The Greeks mixed their wine with water, even the elites. This did not change the taste, but delayed drunkenness. The Greeks were the first to produce wine on a commercial scale to be traded at sea. The Greek wine jars were called amphora, which archaeologists used to determine how far the wine trade went. Turned out, as far as France, Egypt, Crimea, and the Danube. A key part of Athenian culture was a symposium, primarily a male wine-drinking party after a banquet, with the men reclining on couches. The symposium likely was the basis for Plato's dialogues, including one called Symposium. It was in these sessions that men could be with guys having common interests. Debate was encouraged using the Socratic method of questioning. Apparently, free-flowing wine encouraged thoughtful debate. Plato's writing indicated that Socrates was brilliant at it. The Hellenistic age goes from the death of Alexander the Great to the conquest by Rome in 31 BCE. The Hellenistic political structure changed from city-state confederations to empires led by Alexander's generals and successors, Greek speakers all. The Ptolemies ruled Egypt until the untimely death of Cleopatra. The Greek language and culture continued, including philosophy, science, and the arts. Brutal empires remained the rule for the rest of antiquity. Rome seemed an undistinguished city-state, but somehow managed to conquer and rule much of Eurasia. Romans copied the Greek culture and adapted it to their more pragmatic perspectives. How that happened is coming up. Join us on our next video, The Rise of Rome, on food history and mystery.